The more stem cells mean greater regeneration, stronger cardiac repair, and better odds of long-term survival. Too few stem cells put health at risk. Can what we consume nudge stem cells? The answer is yes. Drawing on insights from a renowned Harvard-trained physician, scientist, and leading cancer and vascular medicine researcher, Ho's work has contributed to dozens of FDA-approved therapies across oncology, cardiovascular care, wound healing, and vision. Today's video spotlights a simple pillar that often gets overlooked. We will also reveal 3 beverages beyond plain water that this expert frequently highlights in lectures and seminars. These top 3 drinks are associated with supporting stem cell activity and promoting longevity, and we will break them down clearly so you can use them right away. Stay with us until the end for every detail, plus 5 practical tips to live healthier and longer. 5 habits for a healthier, longer life. First, prioritize hydration. When you are even slightly dehydrated, every system has to work harder, and your food cannot support you as effectively. Keeping your body well supplied with fluid helps metabolic processes run smoothly. Second, eat the foods you enjoy while making sure the majority of your plate is plant-based. Center meals around vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, so your choices consistently work in your favor. Third, minimize highly processed products whenever possible. Choosing foods closer to their natural state is one of the simplest ways to support long-term health. Fourth, cut back on added sugars wherever you can. Reducing sweetened snacks and drinks lightens the metabolic load and helps stabilize energy. Fifth, let us return to beverages. Beyond water, there are 2 everyday picks that serve most people well. Tea is a reliable choice, whether you prefer green tea oolong or black tea. Coffee also belongs in the conversation. Taken together, water, tea, and coffee form a smart core for daily drinking. What you add can change the health impact, so be mindful of sweeteners, syrups, and heavy creams. We began with hydration for a reason, and we will close with beverage strategy for the same reason. Next, we will dive into 3 specific drinks other than water that a medical expert regularly enjoys and often highlights in teaching because they support well-being. Stay with us until the end, as the expert will also explain which beverages to avoid to protect your health for the long run. 1. Green tea, black tea, and the milk. Question: start with green tea. It is naturally rich in polyphenols, especially the catechin EGCG, which comes straight from the tea leaf into your cup, whether you brew with a bag, loose leaves, or whisk matcha made from powdered leaves. When you drink plain tea, these phytochemicals move into the hot water and are readily absorbed, so blood levels of catechins rise. What do? They help the body relax by dialing down stress signals like catecholamines, support healthier lipids, calm inflammation, and contribute to the body's defenses against cancer. With a profile that broad, it makes sense to get as much benefit as possible from every sip. Many people love black tea and wonder how it compares. The answer is encouraging. Although green tea has long been celebrated for increasing stem cell activity, black tea can help too. Old assumptions that fermentation made black tea less helpful are being updated. Populations in Asia and the United Kingdom have consumed black tea for generations, and emerging evidence shows black tea can also boost stem cells, in some cases roughly doubling their numbers. Keeping an open mind allows both green and black varieties to earn a place in a health-focused routine. Now, to a common habit in places like England and Ireland, adding milk to tea. Traditions deserve respect, and many enjoy the flavor. But it helps to know what happens in the cup. Cow's milk contains fat, and when that dairy fat is poured into mostly water-based tea, the fat molecules gather into tiny spheres called micelles, like microscopic soap bubbles. Polyphenols are attracted to fat, so those micelles trap catechins. You still taste the tea, but more of the beneficial compounds are bundled inside the fat droplets and are not absorbed as efficiently in the stomach. They travel down the gut, and a larger portion leaves the body unused. The flavor may be lovely, but much of the good stuff is left behind. If you want a creamy note without that effect, plant-based options work well because they do not create the same fat-trapping reaction. Almond, cashew, and soy milks are popular choices to soften the edges of a brew while preserving polyphenol availability. There is also a leaf-based solution. Tea artisans in Taiwan cultivate a variety often called milk oolong, commonly known as jin shuan. It is simply tea leaves, yet when brewed it naturally delivers a gentle dairy-like aroma and taste. With this cultivar, you can enjoy the comforting profile people associate with milk tea, while keeping the polyphenols accessible. Another insight from a medical expert is that blends can outperform single-origin teas. In comparative testing, familiar options such as Chinese jasmine, Japanese sencha, and Earl Grey showed different levels of potency. The interesting twist came when two of the less potent teas were combined. The blend proved more effective than either one, alone a clear example of food synergy where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. If you enjoy variety, experimenting with thoughtful blends can be a practical way to elevate benefits. Caffeine sensitivity does not have to be a barrier. Decaffeinated green tea is available, and it is worth choosing products processed with water-based decaffeination rather than solvents. Many companies specify on the label that they use a water process to remove caffeine. That approach lets you drink tea later in the day, or if you are caffeine cautious while still capturing a meaningful share of tea's bioactive compounds. 2. Coffee and health benefits. The second beverage linked with better health and longevity is coffee. As I sit down to breakfast, what's in my cup is coffee. This drink contains chlorogenic acid, a compound that supports metabolism and activates the body's health defenses, including anti-angiogenic and anti-inflammatory pathways. I'm a fan of coffee, and there is solid evidence behind it. In Annals of Internal Medicine, a study of 171,000 adults in their 50s living in the United Kingdom found that those consuming about 2 to 3.5 cups per day had a 30% lower risk of all-cause mortality, that is, death from any cause. Participants came from the UK Biobank, a registry of roughly 500,000 people, and they were followed for 9 years. So, what in coffee drives these benefits? Chlorogenic acid does a great deal. It improves blood flow, encourages your own stem cells to support organ regeneration, enhances the gut microbiome to reduce inflammation and aid metabolism, acts as an antioxidant, and helps fortify the immune system. This naturally raises the question of whether bean choice matters. Organic coffee can offer an advantage, because chlorogenic acid also helps protect the plant against insects. Organically grown beans tend to retain more of it. Reports indicate that an organic coffee bean can contain roughly 3 times as much chlorogenic acid as conventionally grown beans. In short, coffee can be a smart daily choice, and opting for organic may further boost its chlorogenic acid content. 3. Chocolate, cacao, and stem cells. The third option that can be turned into a powerful drink is cacao or dark chocolate. Research shows that preparing a high flavanol hot cocoa and drinking 2 cups a day for 30 days can raise circulating stem cell levels. In a small clinical trial of 16 participants with documented coronary artery disease, this simple routine increased stem cell counts, suggesting the body's capacity for repair can be nudged with the right formulation. The sample size was modest, but the findings align with broader observations. In a much larger German cohort of 20,000 adults, those who ate about 7 to 12 grams of chocolate daily had a 39% lower risk of heart attack or stroke. To picture the amount, roughly 7.5 grams is about 3 chocolate chips, and the emphasis is on dark chocolate. It is important to remember what delivers the benefit. It is not the dairy or the added sugar often found in candy bars. The helpful compounds come from cacao itself. Choosing very dark chocolate, such as 73% cacao or higher, and using it to make a high flavanol hot cocoa twice daily for a month produce striking effects in the clinical setting. Compared with a control hot chocolate, the high flavanol version led to roughly double the number of stem cells. Researchers also measured blood flow by briefly restricting circulation with a blood pressure cuff and then releasing it. Those drinking the high flavanol beverage showed substantially better vascular response, a functional improvement that moves beyond lab markers and into real-world physiology. From a lifestyle perspective, few will complain about enjoying chocolate-sipping tea or following a Mediterranean-style pattern. These are pleasurable habits that happen to support health. A medical expert offers one more crucial clarification about chocolate. Many popular candies are confections with lots of extras and very little real cacao. Bars labeled 80 to 85% cacao or higher are a different story. They are predominantly plant-based, provide dietary fiber, and deliver polyphenols inherent to cacao. Experimental work presented at a major nutrition meeting has shown that bioactives in dark chocolate can inhibit the blood supply that feeds cancers, and in tests with leukemia cells exert direct cytotoxic effects. For daily practice, reach for serious dark chocolate or high flavanol cocoa preparations to capture these benefits while avoiding the fillers that dilute what makes cacao valuable. 4. Pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice is packed with L-glutanins, such as punicalagin, which break down into bioactive metabolites that help the body counter oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. In cell and animal studies, these compounds show anti-proliferative, pro-apoptotic, and anti-angiogenic activity, meaning they can make it harder for abnormal cells to grow new blood vessels and spread. Recent reviews conclude that pomegranate extracts can inhibit pathological angiogenesis while supporting healthy vessel function, though standardization and more clinical translation are still needed. Early human evidence is most developed in prostate health. In a Phase 2 trial, men previously treated for prostate cancer who drank 8 ounces of pomegranate juice daily experienced a marked lengthening of PSA doubling time, a sign that disease progression slowed. These findings led to calls for placebo-controlled trials. Subsequent randomized work with pomegranate extracts shows mixed but suggestive results, underscoring that benefits may vary by individual biology and warrant further study. Beyond oncology mechanisms, pomegranate supports cardiovascular defenses. Meta-analyses of randomized controlled trials find that regular intake can reduce systolic and diastolic blood pressure, improving a key driver of vascular risk, an important way to help the body beat disease upstream. A distinctive advantage of pomegranate is its partnership with the gut microbiome. L-glutanins are converted to urolithin A, which has been shown to induce mitophagy cellular cleanup of damaged mitochondria in vivo and extend lifespan in model organisms. While this is not a cancer cure, it illustrates how pomegranate's metabolites can bolster fundamental repair pathways that underlie resilience. Practical takeaways: choose 100% pomegranate juice with no added sugar, or use high polyphenol, concentrates diluted in water. Amounts used in studies are commonly around 1 8-ounce glass per day. Pairing pomegranate with a plant-forward eating pattern and other polyphenol-rich beverages like tea or coffee can create complementary defense-boosting effects. As always, pomegranate juice is an adjunct to not a replacement for medical care. Ongoing research continues to clarify who benefits most and how to use it optimally. When it comes to beverages, a medical expert emphasizes that the one to steer clear of is alcohol. High intakes can injure and blunt stem cell function, and heavy drinkers often show evidence of damaged stem cells. Metabolic conditions matter too. Diabetes and chronically elevated blood sugar impair these cells, effectively crippling their ability to repair tissues. The broader lesson is that excess of any kind can harm your stem cells, and alcohol is a prime example. Many people believe a nightcap helps with sleep, but the science says otherwise. Alcohol may make you feel drowsy, yet once it is in your system, you do not reach deep restorative sleep. The brain cannot descend fully into the stages that provide real renewal. Instead, you hover in lighter sleep, grow restless, and wake without the benefits that come from deep cycles. With that in mind, be intentional about what you drink at dinner. To protect stem cell health and support better sleep quality, Keep alcohol intake under control, and for some situations, the best choice is to cut it down or cut it out.